Hello, my name is Ernest and this is my 511. So I used to be part of a secular band. I was playing electric guitar for that band. It was back in India, and the band was going really good. We were pretty famous around the city, and yeah, I was at that peak point. I felt God speaking to me, and I felt like God asking me this question: Is this what I called you to for? And at that point, I realized because growing up as a child, I always had this passion to serve God, and I knew that He had a calling in my life. So at that point, I realized that I should, step out of this and obey God, and that's what I did. Even though I was leading the band, I had to step out and tell my bandmates that I can't do this anymore. But it was hard for me that time to make that decision, but I obeyed God and I just took that step of faith, and because I've never led worship before, and yeah, so that's how I got into worship. And I also write my own songs, worship songs, and I produce them. And yeah, God has enabled me to do all of that, and yeah, that's it. So it was back in 2018 when I was 19 years old. So I was going through a season of depression, anxiety, and hurts, disappointments, and yeah, it was so heavy on my life. So I remember this Saturday night. But then I was still going to church. I was playing music. I was doing everything, but I still had this emptiness in my heart. And so I remember this Saturday night where a huge problem happened, and I felt like I was the reason for that, and I felt so disgusted about me, and I felt like no one loved me or no one cared about me. And so it was around 3 a.m. in the morning. I was crying on my bed, trying to sleep. But yeah, I couldn't sleep, and it was so painful for me, and I never shared it with anyone. I just kept everything to myself, and then I came to a conclusion where I was like, you know what? I don't want to live anymore. What's the point of life, and what's the point of doing everything? And I don't know how I came to this conclusion, but I was like, you know what, I just want to die. I don't want to live anymore. So I wanted to commit suicide. And the next day was Sunday. So and the best part is my church was in the same street where I lived in. So I never had any option to skip church. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go to church, finish church, and I'm gonna kill myself. I don't want to live. So yeah, I woke up and I went to church, and I was on stage that day. I was playing electric guitar, hiding all these feelings inside me. I was just on stage playing, and I don't know, for some reason I was just crying on the stage. Even though I was playing at worship, I kept crying. I couldn't control, and I didn't know what was happening around me. I felt like everything was dark, and I never shared what was going on in my life with anyone. So yeah, worship got over, and the sermon got over, and the service got over. So I started packing my things to leave. And so a sister, a missionary from our church, she walked up to me. So I don't talk to her very often. But I knew her. She walked up to me and she was like, so she, back home they call me Ruben. So she was like, Ruben, during worship, God spoke to me. He said that you wanted to commit suicide. And I was so shocked because I never told anyone, and it's just happening the same day. And then I started crying so badly, and she said, God wanted me to tell you that He loves you so much, and He's always there for you, and He cares for you, and He has a purpose in your life, and He's gonna do great and mighty things through you. And it just shook me because I never told anyone, and this lady was just telling everything that was going on in my life, and I'm like, what's happening? And then she also mentioned that during the time of worship, she saw Jesus standing beside me when I was playing guitar, and he was putting his arms over my shoulder, and that just broke me. And I fell to the ground and I cried so much because I felt that I was such a disgusting person. And can you imagine a God who created everything that we see and things that we don't see, standing beside you and putting his arms over you? And that's when I gave my life to Christ, and that changed my life so drastically. And God has been faithful in every step from then, and yeah, he's leading me as he promised me, and all glory to God alone.